Hello there, welcome back to Kitchen Sink. Last episode we made what did we make? We made this thing and also this setup here for making hydrogen or oxygen and whatever, purifying stuff. Today we'll be making more stuff and things. Well, mainly we're gonna be taking the actual osmium, processing all of the osmium through the setup. Well, not all of it, just some of it. And probably, actually, we'll get started with iron instead because iron is more valuable. So one of the things in Tinker's, or not Tinker's, in Mechanism is the jetpack, which we can make now. Also the flamethrower and other things because we have hydrogen. But I'm going to focus on the ore processing for now instead of the random rubbish. And also I'm going to focus on getting a smelter. Now you can get a smelting factory, which is amazing. But for now we'll just get the basic smelter, and that's all we need is the energized smelter. So this is pretty easy to do. You just need a steel casing, which costs 4 steel. We do not have the 4 steel right now, unfortunately, so I will need to make that. Like, the way we always make it. Just shred some iron ingots, and it should be fine. We will head down to here and grab out some of the coal. We've already exhausted all of our coal for making steel. You do not mind much coal because the coal can give you coal lung, and there's no way to mitigate this unless you wear a gas mask, because that's the only way of mitigating coal lung. Of course, there's also power armor, which is the another option, but we do not have that right now. So we also do not have any of the HBM mod progression done, other than the burner press and like one other the steel anvil, which we made for no reason. We haven't even used the steel anvil yet for anything, although we could use it for making wings, which are not even going to be useful for us in this playthrough. But the jetpack will be very useful and probably come the most in handy out of all of the machines and things we can make. Alright, so now that we have produced our first coal and iron, we'll now... Well, not our first coal and iron, we just produced our first coal and iron, but not even first. I don't know why I keep wanting to say first for everything today. It's not even the first time. It's like the 30th time now. Anyway, basically we're going to take this, run it through the process, and make a bunch of steel ingots. So that way we can even make the energized smelter. We have to smelt them in the furnace first. Yeah, we'll get the energized smelter, some other stuff, and some other things. And also 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. That's what we're going to need for the casing. I'll put the rest into here and all of these into here as well. Probably should start storing them over there, because that's where all the rubbish is. But for now this is fine. Here's 4. And what is this guy doing? He's making the iron dust right now. So if I take this 6 iron powder and mix it with this, I will now get 12 steel powder, which I can now process through this guy for steel ingots. But I do not need the steel ingots right now. I'm going to save those for future machines in the next 5 minutes that we will probably be making. And then I just got to make this, the steel casing. And that is for the energized smelter, correct? So that means I need to also produce 2 digitized circuits. Glass, which we already have made a bunch of. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And then we will wait on actually taking this next stage, which would be, what is it called? The factory. We'll wait on making a factory out of this. But for now, this should do the trick. Right, so now that we have gotten our osmium ingots, we need to put them through here with some of this enriched, but it's not enriching because I have to wait on that. As you can see, the actual wind turbine is not enough to keep up with all of the machines running in this setup, which is why automating it early on is kind of difficult, but it is something you kind of have to do. And you can turn off this guy by setting them to idle, and he'll clog on hydrogen. So there is a machine called the gas flare, which we'll be able to make eventually, but not right now. It's just way too expensive. Look at this. 59 steel pipes, or 59 steel ingots basically, because each one of these is 27. So 59 steel ingots is a lot of steel. We could probably get this if we find a structure, and then we'll get the assembling machine too. That would be a good idea to do right away. Once we have the jetpack, we'll be able to fly, so I mean, it will speed up our actual structure hunting capabilities greatly. I've set the top to an output slot because I do not want to have this guy spit directly into the furnace, because some of these things are useful as powder for making other stuff. So the powder is more useful than the actual stuff, usually. The actual ingots. What are we doing now? Alright, we have to make the actual pattern for this. So those two, and then I think there's just 4 on the outside of these guys, and then it's actually just the other things as well. And then makes the thing once this is done. Oh, it's done. Perfect, and we've made the electric furnace. Energized smelter, which now can speed up our progress even more. This thing will allow us to smelt things. We'll be able to make that into a factory that can smell like 9 things at once. Nice. The tier 4 setup can actually be made right now. So now we have made the energized smelter. I'm going to start on the tier 4 setup. Although this does cost a lot more energy, which is the downside to this, is that the energy cost is greatly increased with you making a tier 4 setup. However, this is getting expensive because you have to jump up, and it all costs diamonds here, and I do not have enough diamonds for that. Well, maybe. It is time for us to make a machine that's dedicated for the diamonds, compressed diamonds, because this is efficiency. And in mechanism, there's one thing that is a problem. It's that you cannot have multiple different types. You don't have like the ability to select between what type of thing you're using inside of your, whatever it's called, the infuser or whatever. So if you want to make diamond stuff, then in a redstone thing, then you have to throw away the redstone, which is stupid. So I'll just make multiple of these, and that is going to speed up our progress even more. But they do not even cost steel, do they? I've just made what I need for the starting of the next machine. Here's the metallurgic infuser. It just costs 2 furnaces. And I have those right here. I do not need all these furnaces now. Alright, this is awesome. We have our metallurgic infuser done. Or metallurgic confuser, because it's a very confusing machine. But anyway, we've made 2 of these now. These are nice for making the next thing. Which is, of course, well, you can infuse stuff with biomass. Oh, you can infuse copper and tin. You can make that recipe in there. I didn't realize you could make that recipe in there. It's been... I have not made that in a very long time with mechanism, just like the way the mechanism does that. Anyway, you can make obsidian powder and stuff like this. Oh, we can actually finish our pickaxe now, because we have the ability to mine obsidian. Duh. Why have I not done this sooner? We've also processed all of our iron, so now I'm going to smelt up like half of this. And then a quarter of this. And then I'll do the same once we get to another point. We'll just keep 8 in the bottom of the chest. Right, so to get to the next tier of machinery, you need to make a total of 8 advanced, or of the super stuff, the super alloy or whatever that gets called. And this is where things are getting crazy, because we are now beginning to use multiple infusers at once and stuff like this. It's getting out of hand. Our actual energy level is going down. Or no, it is going up very slowly, which is good, because that is how it should be. I've made another input on the front of this thing for diamonds and other things that I'm just going to wait on for all of the ore processing stuff to finish up. So now I will be able to input from the front, and it should be set to auto eject. Oh wait, it needs to have a actual hopper there if I want to auto input. Well, I will just wait. But anyway, we'll take all of these diamonds and throw them in there. All of our diamonds, the only diamonds we have. Like what, 3 of these? Ridiculous. Well, thankfully, HBM mod makes it very easy to get diamonds. That's the only reason to go for the HBM mod ore processing in this 1.12 version. Because you have the ability to get diamonds easier, I bet. I bet it's that recipe that gives you 12 diamond powder each, and then you can turn them into diamonds. Which means that if I have Silk Touch on my pickaxe, I'll be able to get it. Diamonds. Right, so we can get, you can make this in an anvil, correct? No, you can't even. Oh, centrifuging. Oh. Well, enriched diamond ore gives you that, but what kind of other stuff can we get? How do I get diamond powder? Centrifuge gives you 4 for a crystal. Okay, well that's still better than nothing. But not as... I don't know. I mean, that is better than most mods. Most mods don't even allow you to do that to diamonds. Because most mods don't care about diamonds. Because diamonds are supposed to be cheap as dirt, and they just don't... They just don't see correctly. Okay, as you can see, yeah, it does not work like that. But this is where I'll store items for now. Before I throw them in there. Alright, so with the compressed diamonds, you make 8 times as many of those. And additionally, we also need to make 2 of these for the regular one. Now, this is actually wrong, because you need 8 of them to take the advanced ones to next tier. Next we'll need to make the actual chamber next episode, but we're getting the stuff to start it today. Essentially, I will need to take 4 of these guys to make... I'll need 8 more of these guys to make the other thing, I think. And then I will need 4 of these guys for... So I'll need 12. Ridiculous how many this costs, but... I have now basically begun starting on our next tier, which is going to be amazing. But we also need to add in 4 more of these guys for circuits, because each tier will need its own circuits, so, yeah. So, as you progress up in this machine, it just gets expensive. Excruciatingly so. Ridiculously expensive in this case. But anyway, that's enough of... I think that's enough of this. Well, actually, no, I don't think it is. I think I have to finish this today. Or making these new circuits that we've never made before. So these tier of circuits are like... these are the regular tier that we've made before for the purification chamber. And then these are the ones for the chemical injector that we need now. And then that's all I will need for the chemical injector. And I will now need to make the exact same for the previous tier of injector, or of chamber or machine. I will need to make that one's circuits, which means I just need to wait on this guy to do his stuff for a little bit. And while I'm waiting, I guess I could probably get started on making a jetpack. Or no, I'm not even gonna bother. Is there really a point in making a jetpack when I can just slingshot like this? There is kind of a point, but it's not even worth it, in my opinion. Well, not right now, it isn't. I'm not gonna bother with the jetpack yet, but I do want to see what's in this meteor right as we end the episode, and then I can come back and, well, we'll start on the next thing that happens, which will be great. This is meteorite cobblestone, and it's just like 1 layer of this. Or is it? Oh, it does embed into the ground. Dang it! You see, that is the problem. This is still doing damage to blocks, but it's not explodicating blocks, which is better than